There's lots of argy-bargy today about the Reserve Bank's decision. Well, let's get this straight. It came after consultation with the government, so it's the Albanese Labor government's decision. And this is the call not to put King Charles on the $5 note. This is one role he won't inherit from his mum. Not that most of us handle cash much nowadays anyway, but as you know, the Queen is on the fiver now, and of course, this is the only change of monarch we've had since we went decimal, so there's no real precedent, but many people expected the King would replace her, and that's what many people wanted. And some say that failing to do so is a blow against the monarchy and a step towards a republic and all the rest of it.
I welcome the decision taken by the Independent Reserve Bank to ensure that the new $5 note recognises and celebrates the culture and history and heritage of Indigenous Australians.
In relation to this, he would have been central to the decision making. And if it's a decision that they've made, own it. Just be responsible and put your hand up and say, this is the reason we've made it. I think it's another attack on our systems, on our society and our institutions.
But hang on, we had our own National Day last week, and King Charles, the King of Britain and of Australia, he didn't even offer a Happy Australia Day message. This king is too woke to even mention Australia Day, seemingly ashamed of the day his own country claimed Australia as a colony. So he can hardly complain about missing out on a spot on the $5 note. Because this, of course, is another woke move. The Queen will stay there for a year or so until they come up with a new design reflecting Indigenous Australia. Now, a couple of things about that. Firstly, when he's already making a hash of advocating an Indigenous voice, Albanese ought to be very careful about doing too much in this space, lest people feel they're being dragooned. And second, the other notes aren't dedicated to special groups. They have famous people who reflect the best of us, including Banjo Patterson, Nellie Melba, and of course Indigenous inventor David Uniapon. So here's the way to fix this. Let's put a couple of people in the $5 note, one on either side, of course, like the other notes, a couple of people that we all admire, and let's do it by celebrating sport, which unites us. Let's put Donald Bradman on one side and Cathy Freeman on the other. That ought to do it. Who could complain? My pleasure.